In the chopper shop today, we're going to be changing the oil on a 2015 Coleman 500cc side-by-side that I bought from Cabela's. I don't recommend you have Cabela's touch your power sports. The hunting season's over. I brought it home, cleaned it, had about 100 pounds of dirt and mud, muck. Cleaned up pretty good with the pressure washer in the yard. Those of you who have scratched or dull windshields, went to Harbor Freight. I bought this polishing pad. It's a 6-inch foam pad that has some sort of grit to it. And a Velcro backing that's stuck to my DeWalt palm sander, orbital sander. I got this plastics from Harbor Freight. And I buffed that windshield, washed it with soap and water a couple times, hit it with the plastics a couple times on both sides, and then I put some Rain-X over the top. I use this Rain-X on my motorcycle windshields, and it does a nice job. So I heated up the machine here for about 15 minutes. It's been cooling now for about 10. If you don't know how to get to the engine compartment, you have to pop these seats out with this lever. That takes out that side, and that's your gas tank and sending unit. That all comes out easy enough to get to the engine. This plastic comes right out, lifts out. Put that out of the way. The oil filter is on the passenger side right here. It is hard to get to. The oil fill level where is that dipstick? Maybe it was on the other side. Oh, there it is. Down there, that black thing, way down there. They do sell an extension tube. This company here, the Motorcycle Doctor, has like a 5-inch extension tube for $24 that goes in there, so it's not so hard to fill. They also recommend adding more oil than the manual calls for to help protect the wet clutch. What's nice about their filter, it has this nut on the top so you can spin these on and off with the socket set. Makes it a whole lot easier than trying to get in there with the wrench. The manual calls for 2 quarts of SAE 10W40. This Motorcycle Doctor swears 2 3/4 the number. So I have this off to change the oil. I got a pad, piece of cardboard. Gonna slide it under there. Take my handy dandy flashlight under with me. That's my deer. And that's the chopper shop. That's the band. And that's the American flag. In the chopper shop, we stand for the flag. It's an 18 millimeter socket. I always save scrap cardboard in case something splashes, doesn't want to land in the pan. It is, where is that son of a gun? Oh, there it is. Right there. So, I'm going to get my wrench. I got a little extension on here. Let's set you down. Oh. Oh, bad angle. There we go. All right. I don't know if you're upside down or what you are, but, and I was gonna, and she just pours out of there. It seems a little liquidy. I'm gonna let that drain. Gonna put you on pause. Now, here's a quick side note. My wife thinks that all this Budweiser containers in the garage is all about the drinking. But for me, it's all about saving money because this oil wrench was too big to go on this filter. So I slid in a piece of cardboard to make up the difference. And now the filter wrench fits the filter. So if you're having that problem, go out and get yourself some Budweisers. I'm going to remove this filter and I'll be right back. Here's the two filters side by side. They are the same. This is the one from the motorcycle doctor. Like I said, the advantage, it has this nut that goes on the bottom. You put it on with the 17 millimeter socket. Before we do, I just poured a little bit of new oil into the cap. I took off the film that goes on there. There's a little plastic protective film they put over this end of the oil filter so nothing gets in there. So I put a little fresh oil on the O-ring. I like to put a little bit of oil in the filter. Too much is going to spill when you try to put it on the machine. We take it over here. The new spot's nice and clean. It did drip quite a bit of oil. I usually take another piece of a 30-pack container and put it underneath the filter to divert the oil somewhere other than the engine compartment into a can or whatever. But on this machine, there's just no room. So it's going to go right here. I'm just going to get a paper towel, clean that up a little bit more. Put you on pause. Okay. Time to put the new one on. There is a bunch of this wiring in the way. A little tricky. Now this motorcycle doctor says no aftermarket filter will fit these threads on the engine properly, that they're too sloppy and they will leak. I did find some truth to that on the internet, so I didn't want to take any chances. This was an $8 filter, $8 to ship it, a little pricey, but it sure beats walking there. I'll put you down here a minute. If you've never put on an oil filter, then you put it on here and you crank it down as tight as you can possibly make it. Just kidding. Get it? It was almost hand tight. So I got it almost hand tight and about another 3/4 of a turn. I got to put the plug back on the bottom. Put some oil in the tube. I'll be right back. So I added almost an extra 3/4, a little over half, maybe 5/8. And the motorcycle doctor says I got it right to the bottom of the threads there. I'm giving myself a little buffer. I'm not quite comfortable filling it right up. I'll put the dipstick back in. Gotta set you down here. Set you down. Dipstick's back in, new oil filter's in. Emergency brake is on so I can start it. Let it idle for a little bit. Circulate that oil. And that's how you change the oil on one of these hisun engines. And the motorcycle doctor, there's his number here. I called him on the phone. He was very helpful. His website, motorcycledoctor.com. And here he says raise the oil level in all 2008 to 18 500, 700 engines, bucket seats only, not the bench seat, by 3/4 of a quart, bottom of the dipstick case threads, improves the wet shoe clutch wear and reliability. And after watching a few people on YouTube already changing their clutches, I figured it was worth a try.